Hello everyone, I'm Amazing Bay. I'm playing, and yeah, let's see what we can get into. Look, I just entered the hospital. I haven't even got to my room. Get to it. I don't have to speak as loud either. It's closer to my fifth. I had to talk to everybody though. This will take a minute. Wait a minute.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true.
The music's
The
just so
famous
dire.
Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett's, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really...
We just discovered a hint. It reveals a secret about a citizen or someone related to Corcoran is convinced Gwyneth Brannigan is overqualified. See, that makes him more powerful than I can eat him. I unlock all these stuffs. 1500's good. Let's look at an ability. $1,500. 80%. Just by eating him. That's not worth it, in my opinion. I'm gonna be saving a lot of these for the end.
seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Oh shit, he's talking out of turn. Just fucking around.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation?
This hospital...
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
This is no time for self-pity. It is the last thing our patients need.
Those breakaways. Rough. We'll see on the next person. Excuse me, I waited for my controller to connect. No one's connected anyway, but sometimes people jump in real quick and what's this guy doing in pause? Technical difficulties. Right again.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon.
It looks so
here at
realistic
Pembroke.
too.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
Okay, bad lady.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for
These
recruiting.
fuckers are chilling in the rain.
Most
talking.
of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No, I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
She says their best, but it says his. Citizen hints. As a vampire, more citizens to reveal information thanks to a hint. Discovered. Blue prompt. I read that so weird.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
She's already 3,000. Pretty good. So,
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Apparently he's healthy now. 500 X. Always.
Whoa, I feel giddy. Did I black out? What happened? Did I black out?
Hey.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
The why comes in. The why's like, these are the questions that change the shit. So, what do I want to change? You have nothing to prove. Just Brannigan at his word. Your attitude. So, natural me wants to say Nurse Brannigan's word because that's what I heard. But the mean is saying your attitude is wrong. I want to be the mean.
Your attitude is irresponsible, Doctor. Believe me, I've seen so many medical errors caused by exhaustion during the war.
You're right. This is a war, Dr. Reed. And I don't intend to surrender.
Just a moment.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran.
No. We must...
Your attitude is...
You're right. This...
Pissed him off.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Said the wrong thing.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I like this.
I'm new.
He's funny.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Why does he have the Japanese fucking thing on his arm?
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
My natural inclination would be to help these people, but sometimes a lesson needs to be learned. Who needs to listen?
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. New investigations. Local investigation. A new citizen investigation is available. Press the double square button. I'm not sure. I think options. And press the options button to open the local investigations menu. Citizens investigations. I better stop talking like that because people will hate me. The citizen investigations are displayed here, categorized by district. You can start a new citizen quest by tracking it with X. Bada bang. Then access to your map and to locate the area to. Or Milton Bradley.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
I like this guy. I've always liked him, but he is pretty tense.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
I might save up to buy Milton shotgun. Or I could just eat him. I could just eat Milton. Not right now. I could just...
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadigan.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
I don't like your attitude, Nurse Hawkins. Pessimism can be as lethal as the epidemic in times like these.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is
Milton so
Milton
grumpy?
grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Hi, Mommy Choco.
Milton's not the kind
Thank
of
you for
man who's
joining.
bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Bree says hi. I even look up to right now. Like I have a second screen and then I saw the message. But thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Better say your shout-outs right now, little lady.
You're little.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
This is like a doctor version of Batman, you know? I think this is why I really like it, because it's like, you know, instead of Batman, well, he still whoops ass, but like, you're a doctor in the hospital where your sick people work, and it's like sort of personally trying to figure them out while trying to figure yourself out. It's like he's like, I belong in it too. Batman belongs in Arkham too.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
I love you guys.
Huh. Wait. Hello. Thank you.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
I played this game before and it's really cool. Like, it's called but if I can, you should really check it out if you like. Well, I like these kinds of games. There's fighting involved with it as well, but like, I like the fact that you can change your own world. It reminds me of those like books like where you like read like it'd be like page 9 and it'd be like switch to page 57, and it's, you know, you keep continuing the reading, and then if you die, you die, and then but if you continue, you continue. She says, "Love you too."
Please, describe to me how you feel.
And hi.
What is it
Thank
like
you.
to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Yes, very much so.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Damn it. I think I asked the question too early.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I like her because she actually kind of reminds me of me.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries are am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Damn, buddy.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Never mind. I think I found the guy I relate to.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
That could be true.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn.
Let's go talk to more people. Who's this bud?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swans's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Overrated? What?
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, But over time, his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
I so want to press that. My whole body wants to press that. It's gonna press.
You are going to change your tone with me, my dear colleague, and very quickly.
I don't think so. Perhaps you think yourself protected by Dr. Swansea, but I am still a free man, and I will speak to you the way I want.
My friend, you will be eaten. I will eat you. All I need is level 4 now. Oh, it's just. Oh, 2600. I will eat you.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. Thank you for your time. We'll talk later. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Dorothy Crane.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Thoreau Strickland. And this is Thoreau.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
I will not let you down, my boy.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
That's a lot of cleanliness to it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed.
That'd actually be really nice, and
personally
then,
to
like,
his shop,
then kill him later.
What with your reputation and all, he
'Cause
wouldn't
then,
dare
like-
to refuse the products I need.
Yeah.
I see. Well,
Can't
give
be
me the
blunt. I
address.
can kind of be
may
like
pass
sort of
by
ass,
if I
but
have
like
to.
missing ingredients. New investigation.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him? Or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
3 days. Have coconuts at.
That was pretty cool. I accidentally pressed the button. I was about to take him to eat him.
You all...
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any...
Yeah, because he's level 1, so I could take him. It was like, want to see it? Just like you should hear the music. It's actually pretty creepy.
You're still monstrous.
No, he's weak enough mentally. Like this person right here. I don't know.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
She's level 2, but I'm level 1. Yeah, but she's level 2, so I can't control her, but if I become like level 2, I'll be able to control it and eat her. And if I eat her, then I'll take this XP right here, all of the XP that's right here.
Cool.
But it's better to keep them alive, because if you unlock these hints, you'll have more XP, and you can eat them and get more XP later on.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
You probably can't control them though in different powers. I just haven't really looked into it. Oh shit. I realized. Well, anybody actually, anybody that has a pulsing heart like this, like, I'm not sure what level these people are, but I'm pretty sure.
Good evening.
I played
I'm
this game
Dr.
before.
Reed.
You're surprised you haven't
Can I
seen
help
it.
at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
Well, I had to explain this while in the middle. I had to ask some questions to like learn more about them and learn more about other people, and like everyone has a connection to everybody in the hospital. And there's more stuff later because there's like different areas.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
There's some questions I feel like you shouldn't ask, but like it being there kind of bothers me. So I'm not sure when those come, but I know that there's some questions you shouldn't ask.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here.
There's fighting that comes to, well, when Fable is fighting.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
But it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's hilarious.
Right? Because this is like, it's like 1920s or 1940s, something like that. It's like...
Make him sick.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk
because
to
it's
the
not
people involved.
script.
I don't
It's not
expect
heavily script written.
compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
She charged you for a bed.
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I think you would like this game, besides the fighting.
I don't like fighting.
Fighting's hard, actually.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
But the fact that you can, like, make connections with all these people, because they, like... you're a doctor too, so like he has fatigue, so I need to find a cure for fatigue and eventually give it to him, and then XP will go up. But I still have to learn his secrets. And learn.
It's like a more advanced ravenous devils.
Yeah. Secrets, but depending on what you say, might not secret that you need to like get it all the way up. But there's still more people because you don't always stay in this hospital. First base. These people. But I'm still not strong enough. Oh, I'm strong enough to take him, but the pillar, like the person in the area, that top person. Depending on who you killed, it affects certain people or all the people. So if you kill a pillar, then like, you'll probably affect him. That's what I'm kind of curious about.
Don't waste your time with me.
But you know, the pillar was level 6. So I'm still level 1, I think.
I would not trust that man to be my doctor.
Yep, it's nighttime.
Look at that. That man is.
He's tired.
He's dead.
What a blundering idiot.
That's a walking corpse.
He's tired. He has a perfect excuse. He's working a night shift because they need more nighttime doctors.
Sorry, my skin looks like this.
Because he's
So
tired.
It's locked, all right. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
You got death.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Nothing.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just
Look at those faces.
And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's pretty old. I enjoy the food.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Criminal.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show. with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
The long gives
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
It sounds like he's like trying to be like Irish Jamaican.
No, it sounds like he's making fun of Irish people. Like he's not doing Irish accent.
You're fucking fucked up.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
Oh,
we'll
man.
talk again later.
Haven't I talked to you before I go? She's locked in her room. That's everybody. But I like this dude. I don't think I'll ever kill him.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
This is
Good evening.
I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean? You used to be a doctor. Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
This is what I listen to. This is what I have in my headphones. That's why I don't play it on the speakers. Gotta hear this shit.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
Oh. When I woke up from the intro of this game is you walk in and you find your sister and she's like, oh, you're alive, but you're like just woken up as a vampire and you eat. Well, you don't eat her, you suck most of her blood out.
Gosh.
And you wake up sort of from a trance and you're like, oh, Mary. I forget her name. I think it's Mary.
Your neighbor, Mary.
Oh, Mary. Oh. And he's like holding her.
Not a good actor.
Oh, Mary.
A pawnbroker. I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
This is a very interesting game, even though it's a lot of talking. Like I'm action first. But
who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
What'd you help me with all your inventory, play?
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
That was his actual answer. It wasn't like a regular answer. And there's like a blue response where it's like a vampire response, and like, and that was his real answer.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
I liked him because he was so honest.
It's locked.
They don't say it's locked, all right?
It's locked, all right.
I'm sorry you ended up
Oh, my favorite. Ravenous. If I were to tried to put something down.
This Hacksaw. TL Woods medical file. Some of the stuff might be. Tippett Strickland Eckman.
I cannot enter. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. It's locked.
I'm not gonna read the article. I can read it later though. Wouldn't mind putting a little pizzazz on.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
It usually doesn't have anything to do with it. It does have a lot to do with it. Yeah, I can craft. Crafting. On a workbench, you can craft. Medical treatments to heal sick citizens. Serums to boost yourself. Weapon upgrades, improve and customize. Create yourself. I don't have enough to do anything. These are hand characters.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Go ahead and roll another. Dr. Swansea's message. Dear Jonathan, I've asked Nurse Crane to secure an office for you on the second floor. Please forgive the austere decoration. That is his accent. But Pembroke Hospital is not exactly the Ritz. Sorry to let you discover your office alone, but I need to sleep before going back to it. I'm just a mere mortal after all. I also gave orders to let you rest, and for the staff to never enter your room. You'll also be able to sleep all day without being disturbed, and work at night without raising any suspicion. I'm afraid the place is quite messy, but you'll be able to conduct your experiments here at your own pace. You'll also notice there is an open window with a scaffolding that will allow you to enter and exit the hospital without being noticed. Bada bang. I imagine how awfully new this and disturbing this all must be for you. Believe me, I've studied enough of your species to understand what you must be facing and feeling. Be assured, I'll do whatever I can to help you in this ordeal. Know that you are not completely alone facing it. I'm glad I met you. These dark times we are presently facing. It's like I feel like I gotta read it beforehand. So I'm glad I met you. These dark times we are. That doesn't sound weird. It sounds weird as hell. I'm like looking at it like, why does that sound? These dark times we are all presently facing. Glad to have met you. Dark times we are all presently facing. I guess I should have read it more thorough instead of fast or comically. I hope our future collaboration will yield great results. Welcome to Pembroke, my esteemed colleague. We shall talk soon. Yours sincerely, Edgar Griffith, Swansea. P.S. I left a copy of some of my notes concerning what I've discovered about Econ in the last few years. Feel free to read about if you need some guidance, as long as you Don't use his knowledge to take advantage of it. Okay. They maybe wrote that.
Let him have his hope.
That's weird. It's like certain things in the game kind of, because I play with controller, so like as it says, and you learn how to play with the mouse and keyboard already, so I can know how to deal with these problems. But sometimes when like transitions like that, the controller will be like, I mean, it's like still alive, but it's like. Hard biting. Shadow man. So. Have a blood barrier. Following dart. See the way the music is so chill? Okay. Midnight in the garden of good and evil, baby. In the garden of good and evil, baby. Cause you know that's what they meant.
Oh.
You know that's exactly what they meant.
Oh.
In the garden of good and evil. They just forgot the baby. Because they're not comical. I'm kind of funny, so I'm gonna at least say that. I like Milton, even though he's having a relationship with somebody else in this thing. He's still very cool. I mean, it doesn't matter, he likes her, but
My sweet girl.
Milk Dog is the coolest. Milk Dog.
This is no time for self. It is the last thing.
The also cool thing too is that if you walk past and like hear these people talking, like you see that eye right there, you can hear them talking and shit. Like hear them have special conversations that only you can see because you're a vampire. You have to like be in a specific spot. Made it. It took me forever to get this one. I had to get this one over with.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
This whole game is sad, but it's interesting. Because you get on a deeper level with all these people. You know, you're not only fighting like a bunch of people, but like you gotta like learn, like look, it comes because I'm talking to these people. So like, look right there, he's shining, so it means he's gonna go talk to somebody, which means I have to be in position to like learn a different secret. So it's like it's not so much fighting. It is fighting, but it's not. It is like a movie. It's like a different type of movie. It's like an interactive movie. And this doctor, he's gonna go talk to like his girl or some shit. But I have to like be in a specific spot for me to hear the conversation. And I only have like a certain amount of time to hear the conversation. So like, where he sits and he's talking to somebody, I can't be like right next to him. I probably have to be outside on the fucking lower deck. Right there, you see that shit? Baloney. It's like a specific time limit, because like it'll already start obviously, but like I don't even know where it's at anymore. It doesn't even show that person.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Scowls are like vampires, which are like
You said that there was fighting. That's not fighting, Michael. That's murder.
This fighter. That was a scowl. That scowl would have murdered me. Did you see it not bite me?
Oh
It bit me.
God.
It bit the hell out of me.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I just figured out a secret.
Oh, that's cool. Oh no, hey, what are you doing? Hey, don't do that. No, that's not what that's for.
You know what it is?
Why is this so difficult every time?
Because you're not supposed to be doing it, you nasty. Look at his face. Like he do drugs. Look at his face. Ugh. I don't like it.
That is better. That is better. I will make it through one more night.
Not a doctor, is it?
He's a doctor.
Oh my god! One doctor's a vampire, the other doctor's an addict. What kind of hospital is this?
You haven't heard the rest of the. I wish you would. I wish I would have turned on the rest of the shit, because it's like a bad. It's like Arkham Knight. These motherfuckers. It's like Arkham.
Oh.
Except for none of them will fight you, but they all have a twist. Everyone has a twist. Yes.
It was gonna look all desolate. I'm doing. They eating somebody? Oh my god!
To give me like a blood meter, like hurt myself to heal myself, which is weird.
What? That's weird, man. You gotta activate the healing by hurting it.
It's not so much hurting myself. I guess it's taking the blood that I have gained to heal myself, because I'm taking my own blood to heal myself. I thought that was silly too.
It is. I guess it's.
Let me see, actually. Autophagy. You drain your own blood to heal normal and aggravated damages. PG.
It's locked.
Here's the fighting. It's a fighting. It's actually kind of hard because it kind of surrounds it. That's just the vampires. I'm not even talking about the humans.
Horrible.
It's because it's the black player. And this is where the bodies are stored. The Indian dude, eventually he'll come in there and like pickpocket the people, and he's like, "You won't need this more than I will." And
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to... Please show me what you have to sell. Of course. It's just trinkets.
it's all shit that he got from the people.
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right.
Oh, it has me doing the main shit.
See a shadow that has a dorsal. You don't pass it up. Could be a sucker fish, could be a shark. I'm hoping it's a shark. So I'm gonna get it. Rolling.
You wish. You wish. Alright, I'm gonna do the main mission because let's get it out the way, because then I can do the side missions and I can actually probably use the guide. I'm trying to get logging into work, but it's probably just me. Probably a me. Weapons upgrade. You have enough components to improve one of your weapons.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time.
Cool. I can have the treatment medicine, or I can make treatment from pneumonia, bronchitis, and the cold, as well as fatigue, anemia, and sepsis.
Dark Age?
This isn't the dark. This is like 1920s or 1940s. I think.
That's the Spanish.
Yeah.
That made more sense. That's fine. Edward. 5. Carlisle bit. Dying of.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
I not want to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend.
Fuck up. Crazy.
So rude. Excuse you. And why is she just standing in the middle of the
Yes,
damn
Nurse
hall?
Crane? How can I help you?
That's his room.
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Sorry. There's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
What they don't tell you is that they're a bunch of crap. Fucking, there's a bunch of vampires coming to fight you in that whole shenanigans, you know? That's what's... Yeah, it's the fucking...
That staircase is so pretty. Look at that chandelier.
Wanna hear this lady? Hear this lady real quick.
Why is she great?
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Yeah.
This bitch is crazy.
Yeah. It's like Batman. You know, they all have some sort of something wrong with them. Something that's...
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and
Look
women
at that
who
shit.
hunt
It says,
me.
"Do not cough in
I
public."
am a vampire.
I see.
That's some
Don't worry.
shit before
These people will not find you
This is a
here.
game with baby.
I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Thanks, babe. I don't know. No too much.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
They have different shares. I just unlocked it. Few more hints left. I still have to gain my level 2 eater. I'm still level 1 and she's level 2. And by the time these two things are unlocked, by talking to people, and they might not be unlocked because I might say the wrong thing to somebody else, you know. So like, all these things might not be unlocked because I might say the wrong thing depending on if I'm evil or not, or if I'm just playing neutral. They give you 3 choices, which are pretty much bad, neutral, good. So many people. It's kind of neutral. It'll give because I learned that most even Rainbow's kind of neutral because I played a neutral. I apparently I'm neutral. Like in real life, I'm fucking neutral.
I really like that point.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I do not like being evil, but I know I want to be it. I'm so trying because I could have ate the first dude in the first thing, but he only gave me 500 experience, which would have been nothing. So I'm being greedy in the sense that like I'm being nice to everyone so I can tear the fuck out of them later on. But you want to hear this other dude, which is her romantic person. It's not him. But I like him though. Thomas Elwood.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
You've discussed on every street corner. The daily routine.
Game's so messed up. Yeah, it's like what on? But the map is a lot easier to understand. In that last game I was trying to control, that map is difficult to understand. Well, let's go ahead and do side missions.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
One of the dudes asked me to find his wallet, and I found his wallet. And he'll open more story about blah blah blah. Let me go ahead and find this dude first. I can do the side missions first. I gotta find more vampires to level up on. I'll find more vampires.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
It's Black Dude.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped from the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
It's a terrible game, which is awesomely terrible.
Oh,
because everyone has a terrible side, and you gotta figure out what questions you want to ask them. Most of the questions you can ask them, but there's certain questions you shouldn't ask.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from... How is the
You want to hear the situation?
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Racism!
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Goodbye, Milton.
And with knowing the secrets, I can go to Pippa. What the fuck is Pippa? What you over there doing?
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pippa, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Ah! Like, these people are always having secret conversations eventually that they eventually do and you'll find like of kind of blood sort of fluid or that. Or if they're like shiny out of nowhere, then it's like, have a moment. Follows a little more there's Doctor. Oh.
Elite! Elite!
25th October. From the Guard of Pre-Wind Command Post 2 East End Patrols. Objective: vampire activity. Hospital. Survey. Investigate. Here, Stink. 3 days ago, one of our new recruits heard rumor about the presence of a female vampire hiding in Pembroke Hospital, London East End. All we have is her first name, Thelma. Your mission... Your mission is to discreetly go there and observe any suspicious activity concerning said leech. Then report directly back to us and we will decide what action should be taken. They're about to kill her. They're about to kill her and be like, oh, she wasn't a leech. It's like, no, she wasn't a leech. Racist. I killed a leech. Leech. Boy, the leech. Wrong leech. Yes, the one. Before I go out, I'll talk to old girl, and maybe she'll give me some XP. Thelma.
Good evening, Miss Harcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
Where I have the decision to change shit. You're a delusional woman. You are delusional. You know nothing about vampires. You could be in danger. Should I be mean?
No. You are deluded. You think you crave blood, but you have no physical need for it. You have no idea what that is like.
But what am I feeling? It cannot only be in my head. I know my flesh is rotting. I feel it. It disgusts me.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
On every street
Feel my
corner.
blood boil with the fever.
The daily routine.
The music's so relaxing, but like terrible at the same.
When I get back, I'll have a word with Tom. He's really pissed me off this time.
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. But as long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, all like that.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. It still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favor.
You're a monster. Survive at all costs. You may be right.
Perhaps you're right. Maybe only the strongest will survive in these dark times.
If there must be only one, in the end, make no mistake, I'll be the winner.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
How is your hospitalization going? How long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
I'll pay the price.
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I could say for most folks.
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
There's a lot of talking, but later on it becomes a lot of fighting. I don't exactly have to talk to everybody, but everyone's connected at the hospital, so it's a lot easier to talk to everyone at the hospital. Therefore, you're a doctor, so you gotta help people in the area and shit. A lot of people are dying, it's like weird. And you're also a vampire, so like.
Sorry, sir, no admittance. Didn't you hear me? He's mine! I'll take him!
How do you get out of there? These are actually 2 times stronger than I were. Like, I could have beat him, but it's like worth it. baby. We'll try to do this one mission. Right. This is serious. I actually have to give Girl Scouts level 18. There you go. Let me see here if I can handle the rest of it.
Back in the grave! Trust the
Can't do it. The shoes kill the fuck out of me.
Easy! You're a bloody crime!
Someone protect me.
Pin it down!
Places are hideouts. I don't think it is. That's the right is a hideout. Run away from like certain hard people. Which house is that?
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye, it's one of them!
Bad battle. Okay. Story first. Good week. Maybe my strategy wasn't weak to you, but that's okay. Practice it in the story. Let's continue. Whatever. Something comes out. Oh,
it's locked.
What?
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. This key will surely grant me access to the basement. It's locked, all right. These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
You know what, folks? I'm a little tired, so I think I'm going to call it a night. Because it was 2 hours of stream. That was a pretty good long stream. Say hello to your Mama Choco as well as Fantasy XCA. But let me say hello to the users. 420 FT1 Cool, Alicidra. All roads lead to Alien. All roads leads to the Alien. Oh. Fantasy XCA. Thank you for staying there, I appreciate it. Lyrics, Roll Girl, Violets. Alright guys, I hope you guys have a nice night, day, night, afternoon, and I will see you later. We will continue with more Vampyr later. See if we can finish more missions. Bye.